So, welcome everybody again. Namaste to our Mahabharata reading, the greatest epic by Krishna Dwaipayana Veda Vyas. So, we are continuing with the Shalya Vadha Parva. We've just begun this Parva. The first two chapters we've dealt with, which were giving a synopsis of everything that's about to unfold from here. So, before I begin, I'll say a Mangala Charana. Vandeham Sri Guroh Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitanscha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Deving Saraswating Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, chapter 1222 of the Mahabharata, chapter 3 of the Shalya Vadha Parva. Sanjaya said, O king, listen to the great destruction of the Kurus and the Pandavas that ensued when they clashed against each other. The son of Asuta was slain by the great-souled Pandava. Your soldiers were repeatedly rallied and routed. The senses of your son were overcome by great sorrow, and he retreated. On witnessing Partha's valor, the soldiers were extremely anxious. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, confronted by that misery, the soldiers reflected about what should be done next. The troops were being crushed. Loud wails could be heard. In the battle, the kings were in disarray. The great-souled ones had fallen down from their seats on the chariots and from their chariots. O venerable one, in the battle, the elephants and the foot soldiers were being destroyed. An extremely terrible battle was going on, as if Rudra was sporting. Hundreds and thousands of kings confronted in inglorious death. O king, on discerning all this, Kripa, aged and virtuous in conduct, was overcome with compassion. The energetic one approached King Duryodhana. Overcome with anger, the eloquent one spoke these words. O Duryodhana, O Kaurava, listen to the words that I am speaking to you. O great king, O unblemished one, having heard me, act in accordance with those words if you find them acceptable. O Indra among kings, there is no path that is superior to the dharma of fighting. A bull among kshatriyas, O bull among kshatriyas, that is the reason kshatriyas resort to fighting. One who lives the life of a kshatriya fights with his sons, brothers, fathers, sisters, sons, maternal uncles, matrimonial allies, and relatives. There is supreme dharma in being killed and adharma in retreat. That is the reason, if one wishes to remain alive, this kind of livelihood is terrible. However, I wish to tell you some beneficial words, O unblemished one, after the deaths of Bhishma, Drona, Maharata Karna and Jayadratha, and the death of your brothers and your son Lakshman. What is there left for us to do? They were the ones on whom we resolved to impose the burden of the kingdom. Those brave ones have given up their bodies and gone to the destination reserved for those who know about the Brahman. Those Maharathas possessed many qualities, and we deprived them of them now. We have brought down many kings, and are reduced to a miserable state. Even when all of them were alive, Bibatsu remained unvanquished. Krishna is his eyes, and the mighty armed is extremely difficult to defeat, even by the gods. The ape sits astride his standard, which is like Indra's standard, and Indra's bow with the resplendence of the Vajra. The large army trembles at this. Bhima's leonine roars, Panchajanya's blare, and Gandiva's twang bring distress to our hearts. Gandiva's brilliance dazzles our eyes. As it is brandished, it is like a circle of fire that is seen to move around, like a giant flash of lightning. Colourful and decorated with gold, that giant bow is brandished around. It is seen in the directions like a mass of clouds tinged with lightning. O King, Arjuna is supreme among those who are skilled with weapons. Wielded by Krishna, your troops are driven away like clouds dispelled by the wind. He is like a great Indra, and his radiance and is scorching your soldiers, like a fire that has arisen to burn down the dead wood in a forest during the winter. We have beheld Dhananjaya agitate your soldiers and terrify the kings, like an elephant with 4 tusks. We have beheld Dhananjaya like an elephant amidst lotuses. The warriors have been terrified by the twang of Pandava's bow. We have repeatedly seen him like a lion amidst herds of deer. Those 2 Krishnas are great archers in all the worlds. They are bulls among all archers, clad in their armor. They are resplendent amidst all the people. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, this is the 17th day of the battle, and warriors have been slaughtered in this extremely terrible battle. Your soldiers have been routed and scattered in all the directions, like the wind dispelling masses of clouds during the autumn. O great king, your troops are trembling because of Savyasati. They are like an overturned boat being whirled around on the giant ocean. When we saw that Jayadratha was within the range of his arrows, where were the ones on your side, the son of Asuta, Drona and his followers? I, you, Hardikya, your brother, Dushasana, and his brothers. O king, while all the worlds looked on, he used his valor to cross all your relatives, brothers, aides, and martial uncles, and placing his feet on their heads, slew Jayadratha. Now what is left for us to do? Where is the man who can defeat Pandava? The great-souled one possesses many divine weapons. He robs our valor with the twang of his Gandiva. with their leaders slain. The soldiers are like the night without the moon, or like a dried up river with the trees along the banks destroyed by elephants. The mighty armed one on the white horses is roaming around amidst the soldiers at will, consuming them like fire amidst dead wood. Both Satyaki and Bhimasena have a force that can shatter mountains and dry up all the oceans. O Lord of the earth, Bhima uttered words in the midst of the assembly hall. He has accomplished them and will accomplish them again. Footnote. This is in reference to Bhima's pledge of killing Duryodhana and his brothers. End of footnote. And what he did already to Dushasana, maybe. When Karna was fighting in the forefront, the army of the Pandavas, protected by the wielder of Gandiva, was so strongly protected that it was difficult to assail. You have performed many evil acts against those virtuous ones. Those deeds were unwarranted, and the fruits have arrived. For your own sake, you carefully assembled all these people. O son, O bull among the Bharata lineage, both they and you face a danger. O Duryodhana, protect your own self, because your own self is the reservoir of everything. O son, if that reservoir is destroyed, everything in it is scattered and in different directions. A weakened person should try to obtain peace through conciliation. War is meant for someone who is prospering. That is Brihaspati's policy. In terms of the strength of our forces, we are now inferior to the sons of Pandu. O Lord, pardon me, but I think that peace with the Pandavas is indicated now. He who does not know what is beneficial for him or disregards the beneficial is quickly dislodged from his kingdom and does not obtain anything superior. O king, if you are able to obtain the kingdom by bowing down before the king, that would be superior to heading towards the folly of defeat. Yudhishthira is compassionate. On the instructions of Vichitravirya's son and on Govinda's words, he will allow you to retain the kingdom. There is no doubt that the unvanquished king Arjuna, Bhimasena, and all of them will do what Hrishikesha asks them to do. I think that Krishna will not be able to ignore the words of Kaurava, Dhritarashtra, and the Pandavas will not cross Krishna. I think that a cessation of hostilities with the Parthas is for your own good. I'm not saying this out of weakness or because I wish to save my own life. O king, I am offering you a medication, and you will remember this later. The aged Kripa, Saradwata, lamented in these words. His sighs were deep and warm, and in sorrow he lost his senses. Chapter 1223 of the Mahabharata, chapter 4 of the Shalya Parva. Sanjaya said, O Lord of the earth, having been thus addressed by the illustrious Gautama, the king let out deep and warm sighs and was silent. Dhritarashtra's great-minded son thought for an instant. The scorcher of enemies then spoke these words to Kripa Sharadwata. You have spoken like a well-wisher, and I have heard all those words. In the course of fighting, you were ready to give up your life and did everything. You have immersed yourself in the immensely energetic array of Pandava Maharatas and fought with them. The words, the worlds have seen this. Like a well-wisher, you have made me listen to your words. But they do not appeal to me. Like medicine to a person who is about to die, those supreme words are beneficial and are full of reason. O mighty armed one, O foremost among Brahmanas, however, they do not appeal to me. Having been deprived of his kingdom earlier, will he trust us now? The king was defeated by us in the great contest of gambling with the dice earlier. Why will he repose any trust in my words now? Engaged in the welfare of the Parthas, Krishna arrived as a messenger. Because of our greed, we acted contrary to Rishikesha's intent. O Brahmana, why will he pay heed to my words now? When Krishna was summoned to the assembly hall, Draupadi, she lamented. Krishna will not forgive that, or the deprivation of the kingdom. O Lord, we had earlier heard that the two Krishnas were united with each other, and we have also seen it now. On hearing of the death of his sister's son, Keshava slept in sorrow. We have injured him. Why will he forgive us now? When Abhimanyu died, Arjuna could obtain no peace. Even if he is requested, why will he endeavor for my good? The immensely strong Bhimasena, the second Pandava, is fierce. He has taken a terrible pledge. He will break rather than bow down. The brave twins are like Yama. They have girded their swords and are clad in armor. They are firm in their enmity. Drishtadyumna and Sikandi are firm in their enmity towards me. O supreme among Brahmanas, why will they endeavor for my good? Krishna was in her season and was clad in a single garment, while all the world looked on, and she was oppressed by Dushasana in the midst of the assembly hall. The Pandavas remember the distress of the naked one. No one is capable of restraining those scorchers of enemies from fighting. To accomplish the objective of her husbands and ensure my destruction, the miserable Draupadi Krishna has tormented herself through severe austerities. Until the hostilities are over, Krishna always sleeps on the bare ground. Vasudeva's sister has cast aside her pride and her honor and always serves Krishna. Thus everything has flared up and can never be quenched. Because of Abhimanyu's death, how can there be peace with me? I have enjoyed the earth right up to the frontiers of the ocean. How can I be satisfied with the pleasures of a small kingdom obtained through the favors of the Pandavas? Like a sun, I have blazed above all the kings. How can I follow Yudhishthira like a servant? I have myself enjoyed all the pleasures and have donated generously. How can I lead a miserable life together with other miserable people? The words that you have spoken are gentle and beneficial, and I do not hate them. But I do not think that the time has arrived for peace. O scorcher of enemies, I see good policy is one that involves fighting well. This is not the time to be a eunuch. This is the time to fight. I have performed many rites and sacrifices. I have given a lot of donations to Brahmins. In due order, I have listened to all the Vedas. I have placed myself on the heads of my enemies. O Father, I have nurtured my servants well, and also distressed ones have resorted to me. I have gone to the kingdoms of enemies. I have ruled my own kingdom. I have enjoyed many kinds of objects of pleasure. Large numbers of women have served me. I have paid my debts to my ancestors and to the Dharma of Kshatriyas. It is certain that there is no happiness on earth. What is the kingdom? What is fame? Fame can only be obtained through battle, and there is no other way. If a Kshatriya dies at home, that is reprehensible. Death in one's home is great adharma. If a man gives up his body in a forest or in a battle, he performs a great sacrifice and attains great glory. There are those who lament in distress and misery, overcome by age. They die among their weeping relatives and are not men. I will abandon various objects of pleasure and attain the supreme objective. I will engage in a good battle and go to the worlds of the virtuous. Brave ones, noble in conduct, do not retreat from the field of battle. They are wise and unwavering in their aim. All of them perform sacrifices that involve rites with weapons. It is certain that they reside in heaven. It is certain that large numbers of pure apsaras glance delightedly at them. It is certain that the ancestors see them honored in Chakra's assembly. They find joy in heaven, surrounded by apsaras. That is the path followed by the immortals and by brave ones who do not retreat. We will now ascend along that virtuous path, followed by the aged grandfather, the intelligent preceptor Jayadratha, Karna, and Dushasana. There are brave kings who strove for my sake and have been killed. They were mangled by arrows and lay down on the ground, their limbs covered with blood. They were brave and supreme in the knowledge of weapons. They performed the decreed sacrifices. They gave up their lives for another, and now reside in Indra's home. They have constructed the path. It will be difficult to travel along, because there are large numbers who are traveling along it with great speed, advancing towards the virtuous end. I remember the brave ones who have been killed in my cause. I wish to repay my debt to them. I'm not interested in the kingdom. When my friends, brothers, and grandfathers have been brought down, it is certain that the world will censure me if I protect my life. In the absence of my relatives, friends, and well-wishers, and bowing down to Pandava, what kind of a kingdom will I have? Someone like me has brought the entire earth under his subjugation. I will now attain heaven through a good fight. There is no other way. When Duryodhana spoke in this way, everyone applauded these words. The Kshatriyas praised the king. And that last paragraph, and then the next reader. They ceased to grieve over their defeat and set their minds on bravery. All of them made up their minds to place fighting at the forefront of their hearts. All of them were delighted at the prospect of battle and comforted their mounts. The Kaurava went to a spot that was 2 yojanas away. This was a sacred and auspicious spot on the slopes of the Himalayas without any trees. The waters of the Saraswati were red there, and they bathed in it and drank it. Inspired by your son, they rallied. O king, having again reassured themselves and each other, all the Kshatriyas were driven by destiny and waited.
We'll carry on and then pass over to Kanai. Chapter 1225 of the Shalaya Vadaparva. Amazing stuff. That was brilliant, really narrated, by the way. That was one of the most brilliant speeches of Duryodhana, even though it's warped. Anyway, Sanjaya said, "O great king, all those warriors were delighted at the prospect of battle and gathered together on the slopes of the Himalayas. Dalya, Chitrasena, Mahabharata, Shakuni, Ashwatthama, Kripa, Satvata, Kritavarma, Dushena, Arishtasena, the valiant Dhritasena, Jayatsena, and the king spent the night there. When the brave Karna was killed in the battle, though your sons desired victory, they were terrified and could find no peace other than on the slopes of the Himalayas. O king, having resolved to make every effort in the battle, in the presence of the soldiers, they honored the king in the prescribed way and united, said, "You should fight with the enemy after having decided on a commander. All the well-wishers will then be protected by him and attain victory." Even on his chariot, Duryodhana went to the supreme among the Rattas, who knew about the kinds of warfare and was unmatched in the battle. He was pleasant in speech, and his neck was like that of a conch shell. He possessed a sword, and his head was covered. His face was like a blooming lotus. His mouth was like that of a tiger, and he had the majesty of Meru. His shoulders, eyes, gait, and voice were like that of Danu's bull. His arms were thick and long with excellent joints. His chest was extremely broad and well formed. In his speed and strength, he was like Arjuna's younger brother. He was like the sun in his splendor and like Ushanas in his intelligence. He was like the moon in 3 respects: the beauty of his form, his face, and his prosperity. The joints on his body seemed to be made out of golden lotuses. His thighs, waist, and feet were formed well, and so were his fingers and nails. He was created by the Creator with great care, after remembering all the qualities that should be remembered. He possessed all the auspicious marks. He was skilled and an ocean of learning. He was capable of winning speedily, but was incapable of being defeated by the forces of the enemy. He possessed knowledge about the science of fighting, with its 4 parts and 10 divisions. He knew about the 4 Vedas and their Angas, with accounts of the 5th as the 5th. Drona was not born in a womb. The immensely energetic one observed fierce and careful austerities, worshipping Triambaka, and obtained him through someone who was also not born in a womb. His deeds and beauty were unmatched on earth. He was accomplished in all the forms of learning. He was unblemished and an ocean of qualities. He was immeasurable in his soul. Having approached this Gautama, he said, "O preceptor son, for all of us, you are the supreme refuge. Whom should I appoint as commander now? You should tell me. With him at the forefront, we will fight with the Pandavas and defeat them." Drona's son replied, "Let Shalya be the commander of our army. He possesses lineage, bravery, energy, fame, prosperity, and all the qualities. He has abandoned his sister's sons and has gratefully come to our side. He possesses a large army and is mighty armed. He is like Mahasena to the enemy. O supreme among kings, make that king the commander. We will then be able to obtain victory like the triumphant gods after appointing Skanda. When Drona's son said this, all the lords of the earth surrounded Shalya and stationed themselves around him, proclaiming his victory. They set their minds on fighting and were filled with supreme delight. From his chariot, Duryodhana alighted on the ground. He joined his hands in salutation and told Shalya, who was like Rama and Bhishma in battle, O one who is devoted to friends, the time has come for friendship. At such times, learned ones can differentiate between a friend and an enemy. You are brave. Station yourself at the forefront of our army. When you advance in the battle, the evil-minded Pandavas with their advisors and the Panchalas will lose enterprise. Kalya replied, O king of the Kurus, I will accomplish the task you have thought for me. Everything that I possess, my life, my kingdom, and my riches, is for your pleasure. Duryodhana said, O unmatched maternal uncle, I instate you as the commander, O foremost among warriors, save us in this encounter, like Skanda saved the gods in battle. O Indra among kings, I consecrate you, like the gods did to Paviki. O brave one, slay the enemies in the battle, like the great Indra against the Danavas. Chapter 1225. I'll pass over after this one to Kanai. It's not too long. Sanjaya said, O king, on hearing the king's words, the powerful king of Madras spoke these words to the Duryodhana. O Duryodhana, O mighty armed one, O supreme among eloquent ones, listen to my words. You think that the two Krishnas stationed on their chariot are supreme among Rattas. However, though united, they are not my equal in strength of arms. Even if the entire earth were to rise with gods, asuras, and men, I will angrily fight them in the forefront of the battle. Not to speak of the Pandavas. In the battle, I will vanquish the assembled Partas and Somakas. There is no doubt that I will protect your soldiers. I will construct a vyuha that the enemy will not be able to cross. O Duryodhana, I am telling you this truthfully. Entertain no doubt on this score. O supreme among the Bharata lineage, O Lord of the earth, the king was thus, sorry, I was a different accent. O supreme among the Bharata lineage, O Lord of the earth, the king was thus addressed by the Lord of Madra, and delightfully in the midst of the soldiers sanctified him with water in accordance with the rites laid down in the sacred text. When he was consecrated, a loud noise arose among the soldiers. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, they roared like lions, and musical instruments were sounded. The Mahabharata Madraka warriors were delighted. All the kings praised Shalya, the ornament of a battle. O king, may you be victorious, may you live for a long time. Slay the assembled enemy. The immensely strong son of Dhritarashtra has obtained the strength of your arms. Let him slaughter the enemy and rule over the entire earth. You are capable of defeating the gods, the asuras, and humans in a battle, not to speak of the Somakas and the Srinjayas, who must follow the dharma of mortals. Powerful lord of the Madras was pleased in this way. The brave one was filled with great joy, the likes of which cannot be obtained by those who have not controlled their souls. Shalya said, O Indra among kings, in the battle today, I will slay all the Panchalas and the Pandavas, or be slain and go to heaven. The world will see me roam around fearlessly today. Let all the sons of Pandu, Vasudeva, Satyaki, Panchalas, and the Chetis, all the sons of Draupadi, Drishtadyumna, Shikandi, and all the Prabhadrakas, behold my valor and the great strength of my bow, in addition to the dexterity and valor of my weapons and the strength of my arms in the encounter. Let the Partas, the Siddhas, and the Charanas behold me today, and the strength of my arms and the wealth of my weapons. The Maharata Pandava will witness my valor today. Let the enemy try out different means of countering me. Today, I will drive away the Pandu soldiers in every direction. O Kaurava, for the sake of bringing you pleasure, I will roam around and fight in the battle today, surpassing Drona, Bhishma, and the sons of Asuta. O one who grants honors amidst your soldiers. Okay, o one who grants honors amidst your soldiers, Shalya was thus consecrated. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, no one felt any sorrow on account of Karna. The soldiers were happy and cheerful in their minds. They thought that the Partas had already been killed and had come under the subjugation of the king of Madra. O bull among the Bharata lineage, your soldiers were filled with great joy. They were assured and slept happily during the night. On hearing the sounds made by your soldiers, while all the Kshatriyas heard, King Yudhisthira spoke these words to Varshnea, or Madhava. Honored by all the soldiers, Dhritarashtra's son has made the great archer Shalya the king of Madra, the commander. O Madhava, having heard this, do what is beneficial. You are our leader and our protector. Do what must be done next. O great king, Vasudev told the king, O descendant of the Bharata lineage, I know everything about Alatiyani. He is brave and immensely energetic. In particular, he is great-souled. He is accomplished and colorful in fighting. He also possesses dexterity. In an encounter, he is like Bhishma, Drona, and Karna. The king of Madra may even be superior to them. That is my view. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, O lord of men, on thinking about it, I cannot find a warrior on your side who is his equal. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, in the battle, he possesses a strength that is superior to Shikandi, Arjun, Bhima, and Satvata, and Drishtadyumna. Ooh. O great king, the king of Madra is like a lion and an elephant in valor. He will roam around fearlessly, like a wrathful destroyer among beings. When the time for destruction has arrived, O tiger among men, in the battle today, with the exception of you, I do not see any warrior who can fight against him. He is like a tiger in his bravery. Barring you, there is no other man in all of heaven or earth. O descendant of the Kuru lineage, in a battle there is no one else who can kill the angry king of Madra. He has fought from day one to another, agitating your troops. Therefore, kill Shalya in the battle, like Magavan against Shambhara. The brave one is revered by Dhritarashtra's son. When the lord of Madra is killed in the battle thereafter, victory will be certain. When he is slain, the large army of the son of Dhritarashtra will also be completely destroyed. O great king, O Partha, in the battle, having heard my words, advance against the large army of the king of Madra. O mighty armed one, slay him like Vasava against Namuchi. You should not think of him as your maternal uncle and show any compassion. With the Dharma of Kshatriyas at the forefront, kill the lord of Madra. The ocean of Bhishma and Drona and the nether regions of Karna have been crossed. Having counted the trifle of Shalya, do not get submerged with your followers. You possess austerities and valor and the strength of Kshatriyas. Exhibit all of those in battle. Kill the Mahabharata. Having spoken these words, Keshava, the slayer of enemy heroes, was honored by the Pandavas. In the evening, he went to his own camp. When Keshava had left, Damaraj Yudhisthira dismissed all his brothers and the Panchalas and the Somakas. He slept happily in the night, like an elephant from which stakes have been removed. All the Panchalas and the Pandavas, great archers, were delighted that Karna had been killed and slept well during the night. The great archers were cured of their fever. The Maharatas had reached the bank. The Pandavaya soldiers rejoiced during the night. Get ready, Kanai. O venerable one, with the son of Asuta slain, they had obtained victory. Beyond.
I've lost a page.
It's page 1338, chapter 1226 at the bottom. 338.
Okay. Thank you. Wonderful reading.
Beyond.
Hari Om. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 338, chapter 1226. All right. Sanjaya said, when night was over, King Duryodhana asked all the Maharajas on your side to arm themselves. On hearing the king's command, the army armored itself. Some quickly yoked the chariots, others rushed here and there. The elephants were prepared, the foot soldiers were armored, thousands of others spread out, coverlets on the horses. O Lord of the earth, musical instruments were sounded and a large roar arose. This was meant to enthuse the warriors and the soldiers. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, all the soldiers were seen to be properly arrayed in the army. They made up their minds to die rather than retreat. The Maharajas made Shalya, the king of Madra, their commander. They divided the army into divisions and stationed themselves. The time having arrived, all the soldiers, with Kripa, Kritavarma, Drona's son, Shalya, and Sobala, approached your son, together with the kings who were still alive. They resolved, now it's them speaking, one who fights alone with the Pandavas, or one who abandons a co-warrior who is fighting single-handedly with the Pandavas, will commit a sin equal to the 5 great sins and all the minor sins. We will protect each other and fight in a united way. The time having arrived, all the Maharajas adopted such a resolution. With the king of Madra at the forefront, they quickly advanced against the enemy. O king, in that fashion, in the great battle, the Pandavas also arranged their soldiers in a vyuha. Wishing to fight, all of them advanced against the Kauravas from every side. O foremost among the Bharata lineage, that army made a sound like that of the agitated ocean. With the chariots and the elephants, it assumed a form like that of turbulent waves on an ocean. Dhritarashtra asked, I have heard about the downfall of Drona, Bhishma, and Radeya. Tell me now about the downfall of Shalya and my son. O Sanjaya, how was Shalya slain by Dharmaraj in the battle? And how was my mighty armed son Duryodhana brought down by Bhima? Sanjaya replied, there was a destruction of the bodies of men, horses, elephants, and chariots. O king, be patient and listen. I will describe the battle that ensued to you. O king, at the time, hope became powerful among your sons. O venerable one, this was despite Bhishma, Drona, and the son of the Sutta having been brought down. They thought that Shalya would kill all the Parthas in the battle. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, resorting to this hope in their hearts, they were comforted. In the battle, they sought refuge with the Maharata king of Madra. Your son thought that he had found himself a protector. O king, when Karna was slain, the Parthas roared like lions. At that time, a great fear had overtaken the sons of Dhritarashtra. However, they now sought refuge with the powerful king of Madra. O great king, having constructed a vyuha that was auspicious in every way, the powerful king of Madra attacked the Parthas in the battle. He brandished his colorful bow, which was extremely forceful and capable of withstanding a great burden. The Maharata was on an excellent chariot, yoked to horses from the Sindhu region. O great king! The furrows created by the Rata's chariot were beautiful to behold. The brave one, afflictor of enemies, was surrounded by brave Ratas. O great king! The valiant one dispelled the fears of your sons. Armored and stationed at the head of the vyuha, the king of Madra advanced. He was accompanied by the brave Madrakas and Karna's invincible sons. Kritavarma, surrounded by the Trigatas, was on the left flank. With the Shakas and the Yavanas, Gautama was on the right flank. Surrounded by the Kambojas, Ashvatthama was at the rear. Protected by the bulls among the Kurus, Duryodhan was in the middle. Sobala was surrounded by a large army of horses. The gambler's Maharata's son advanced with all the soldiers. Footnote: Shakuni is being described as the gambler. His son is Uluka. The Pandavas, great archers and scorchers of enemies, also arranged their soldiers into a vyuha. O great king, they divided themselves into three and attacked your soldiers. In the battle, Drishtadyumna, Shikhandi, and Maharata Satyaki quickly rushed against Shalya's army. O bull among the Bharata lineage, wishing to kill, King Yudhisthira surrounded himself by his own troops and attacked Shalya. The great archer, Arjuna, the slayer of enemy hordes, powerfully rushed against Hadikya and large numbers of Samshaptakas. O Indra among kings, wishing to kill the enemy in the battle, Bhimasena and the Maharata Somakas attacked Gautama. In the battle, Maharata Shakuni and Uluka were stationed with their forces, and Madri's two sons attacked them with their soldiers. In that way, tens of thousands of your warriors angrily attacked the Pandavas in the battle with many different kinds of weapons in their hands. Dhritarashtra asked, O Sanjaya, the great archers and Maharatas, Bhishma, Drona, and Karna were killed. In the battle among the Kurus and the Pandavas, there were only a few left. The powerful Parthas again became enraged in the battle. What were the remaining forces on my side and on the side of the enemy? Sanjay replied, O king, the remaining forces on our side and on that of the enemy were stationed for battle again. It says our side, maybe your side. Anyway, listen to who were left in that encounter. O bull among the Bharata lineage, your side had 11,000 ratas, 10,700 elephants, and a complete complement of 200,000 horses. O bull among the Bharata lineage, there were also 3 crores of men. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, the forces of the Pandavas consisted of 6,000 ratas, 6,000 elephants, 10,000 horses, and 1 crore of foot soldiers. So, there's a footnote here. The Kauravas started the war with roughly 1.5 times the size of the Pandava army. The relative destruction of ratas and elephants was more or less proportionate on both sides. However, for cavalry and infantry, there was relatively greater destruction among the Pandavas. End of footnote. This is what was left in the battle. O bull among the Bharata lineage. These were the ones who attacked each other. O Indra among kings, we followed the instructions of the king of Madra and divided ourselves. Desiring victory, we advanced against the Pandavas. In that way, the brave Pandavas also wished for victory in the battle. With the illustrious Panchalas, those tigers among men attacked. O Lord, when it was dawn, thus did those tigers among men rush against each other, wishing to kill each other, and rushing forward in strong waves. A fierce battle commenced, and it was terrible in form. Those on your side and the enemy wished to kill each other. I'll go to the next chapter because this one's short and see if anyone wants to take over if they want. So that's the end of that chapter, chapter 12, 27.
Dina, I think you're in the next in queue, so be prepared. Yeah or no?
No, maybe Mark.
Yeah, Mark, you okay?
If they want, I mean, I could.
Mark, whoever's there, ready. Guna, Mala.
Just
We need to
read a
know.
bit,
We need.
read a
It's
bit more,
okay.
and then I'll
Just
carry.
yeah. It's yeah. Thanks,
Someone's going to
Mentor.
be there. Okay, good. Carry on. Carry on until next.
So it was only yeah. Thanks. Someone was so eager they could carry on if they want. Chapter 1227, part 8. Sanjay said, so we had that description just there, right? Okay. Sanjay said, "Oh, Indra among kings. A terrible battle between the Kurus and the Srinjayas commenced. It was like that between the gods and the Asuras and increased one's fear. Men, chariots, crowds of elephants, thousands of riders and horses powerfully clashed against each other. Elephants that were terrible in form rushed forward, and a great noise was heard, like clouds roaring in the sky during the rains. Some Ratas were struck by the elephants and fell down from their chariots. In the battle, those brave ones were routed and driven away by those crazy ones. The elephants were crazy. Elephants are often described as crazy. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, large numbers of well-trained horses were stationed there to guard the feet of the Ratas. Because of the arrows, they were dispatched to the world of the hereafter. O king, trained horse riders surrounded the Maharajas and, roaming around in the battle, slew them with spears, javelins, and swords. Some men used bows to repulse the Maharajas. Many attacked one and dispatched him to Yama's eternal abode. Maharajas surrounded elephants and the best of chariots. They severed the heads of the warriors and drove them away with a great roar. The Ratas were enraged and shot many arrows. O great king, in every direction they surrounded and slew the elephants. In the battle, elephants attacked elephants and Ratas attacked Ratas. Using spears, javelins, and iron arrows, they killed each other. In the field of battle, foot soldiers, chariots, elephants, and horses were seen to be driven away, creating a great tumult. Horses adorned with whisks were routed and drank up the earth and were like swans on the slopes of the Himalayas. There's a footnote with that, may as well read it. This is a reference to the speed of flying horses. They seemed to drink up the earth and were as fast as swans. That's on when they were routed and drank up the earth. The horses, that is. O Lord of the earth! The earth was marked with the hooves of the horses and was as beautiful as a woman with the marks of nails on her body. Footnote, marks left from a session of love. End of footnote. There were sounds from the hooves of the horses and the wheels of chariots. There were the sounds of foot soldiers and the trumpeting of elephants. Musical instruments were sounded and conch shells blared. Oh, descendant of the Bharata lineage, the earth resounded as if it had been struck by a storm. There was the twang of bows. Swords blazed and the armor was radiant. Nothing could be seen. Many arms were severed and were like the trunks of kings of elephants. They writhed fearfully with great force, or were immobile. O great king, heads fell down on the surface of the earth, and a sound was heard, like that when ripe palm fruit falls down. Oh, descendant of the Bharata lineage, because of the heads that fell down, the earth was red with blood and looked beautiful, as if adorned with golden lotuses in the right season. O great king, with lives lost, the eyes were dilated. With all those wounds, it looked beautiful, as if covered with lotuses. O Indra among kings, severed hands fell down on the ground, smeared with sandalwood paste and adorned with extremely expensive armlets. They were as dazzling as Shakra's standard in the great battle. The thighs of the kings were severed. They adorned the field of battle like the trunks of elephants. Hundreds of headless torsos were strewn around, and umbrellas and fans. That forest of soldiers was as beautiful as a blooming forest, O great king. The warriors roamed around fearlessly, with blood flowing from their limbs. They were seen to be like flowering kimshukas. Elephants were seen there, afflicted by arrows and spears. They fell down in the battle like dispersed clouds, O great king. The great-souled ones slaughtered divisions of elephants. They drove them away in all the directions like clouds dispelled by the wind. Those elephants were like clouds. In every direction they shrieked and fell down. They were like mountains shattered by thunder at the time of the destruction of a yuga. Horses fell down on the ground, together with their riders. With their harnesses, those heaps were seen to be like mountains. A river was created on the field of battle, and it flowed towards the world hereafter. The water was made out of blood, and the chariots were the eddies. The standards were like trees, and the bones were the rocks. The arms were the crocodiles, the bows were the current, the elephants were the boulders, the horses were the stones. Fat and marrow constituted the mire. The umbrellas were the swans, the clubs were rafts. Armor and headdresses were scattered around. Flags were like beautiful trees. There were a large number of wheels, trivinus, and poles. This delighted brave ones and generated terror among cowards. That terrible river, full of kurus and trinjayas, flowed along. That extremely horrible river flowed along to the world of the ancestors. Those brave ones possessed arms like clubs and used their mounts as boats to cross it. O Lord of the earth! That cruel battle raged on. It was fierce, and led to the destruction of the four kinds of forces. That is, the chariots, elephants, infantry, and cavalry. Like that in earlier times between the gods and the Asuras. O scorcher of enemies! Relatives called out to each other. Other terrified ones returned after being summoned by their relatives. That battle was cruel and fierce. Arjuna and Bhimasen confounded the enemy, O Lord of men. They slaughtered your large army. Your soldiers were confounded by Bhimasena and Dhananjaya. They lost their senses like a woman under the influence of alcohol. They blew on their conch shells and roared like lions. On hearing that loud noise, this Dharmaraj at the forefront, Drishtajumna and Shikandi attacked the king of Madra, O Lord of the earth. It was terrible in form, and we witnessed something that was extraordinary. Those brave ones, who were fighting in different segments, united and attacked Shalya. Madri's sons were proud, skilled in the use of weapons and invincible in battle. Wishing to slay your soldiers, they attacked spiritedly, O bull among the Bharata lineage. At this, your forces retreated. The Pandavas, desiring victory, used arrows to mangle them in many ways. While your sons looked on, the army was slaughtered, O great king. Afflicted by the ones who wielded firm bows, they were routed in different directions. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, a great sound of lamentation arose among your warriors. There were some other great-souled Kshatriyas who still desired victory in the battle. That is in reference on the code of a side, and they asked them to wait. However, your soldiers was shattered and routed by the Pandavas. In the battle, they abandoned their beloved sons, brothers, grandfathers, maternal uncles, sisters, sons, kin, and relatives. Urging the horses and elephants to speed up, the warriors fled in different directions. O bull among the Bharata lineage, those on your side were only interested in saving themselves. Right, that's the end of that chapter. I'm going
Cool.
to stop there.
Well, I was just going to say, there's one thing. We often come across the word trivenu or
Right,
trivenus in the plural. So
yeah.
trivenu is the part of a chariot,
Mm.
something to do with three poles or something.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't know how to say that.
Yeah,
What language is that?
it's Sanskrit, trivenu,
Oh,
like three bamboos or something. I'm not sure, but it's part of the chariot construction.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah, yeah.
just
Well,
thought.
that's yeah, 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 yeah. That's really that's good.
Okay, here's Dina now. Take it away. You're on number 10, isn't it, Dina, in your book?
That's
Chapter
it.
10. Yeah, okay.
Beautifully read, by the way. That was lovely, Kanai. That was
Yeah,
great.
thanks, thanks. Kind of a
Really
bit of
enjoyed.
an some odd bits there, isn't
Yeah. Anyway,
it?
take it away, Dina. Carry on.
Uh,
That's so we'll offer invocations. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from the translation of Kesari Mohan Ganguli in the Mahabharata. We're on the Shalyapava, section 10. Sanjaya said, beholding the army broken, the valiant king of the Madras addressed his driver, saying, quickly, urge these steeds, endued with the fleetness of thought. Yonder stays King Yudhisthira, the son of Pandu, looking resplendent with the umbrella held over his head. Take me thither with speed, O driver, and witness my might. The Parthas are unable to stand before me in battle. Thus addressed, the driver of the Madra king proceeded to that spot where stood King Yudhisthira, the just of true aim. Shalya fell suddenly upon the mighty host of the Pandavas. Alone, he checked it like the continent checking the surging sea. Indeed, the large force of the Pandavas coming against Shalya, O sire, stood still in that battle, like the rushing sea upon encountering a mountain. Beholding the ruler of the Madras standing for the battle on the field, Kauravas returned, making death their goal. After they had returned, O king, and separately taken up their positions in well-formed array, an awful battle set in which blood flowed freely like water. The invincible Nakula encountered Chitrasena. These two heroes, both of whom were excellent bowmen, approaching, drenched each other with showers of arrows in that battle, like two pouring clouds risen in the welkin on the south and the north. I could not mark any difference between the son of Pandu and his antagonists. Both of them were accomplished in weapons, both endued with might, and both conversant with the practices of Ka warriors. Each bent upon slaying the other, they carefully looked for each other's lapses. Then Chitrasena, O monarch, with a broad-headed shaft, well-tempered and sharp, cut off Nakula's bow at the handle. Fearlessly, then the son of Kana struck the bowless Nakul at the forehead with three shafts equipped with wings of gold and whetted on stone. With a few other keen arrows, he then dispatched Nakul's steeds to Yama's abode. Next, he felled both the standard and the driver of his antagonist, each with 3 arrows. With those 3 arrows sped from the arms of his foe, sticking to his forehead, Nakula, O king, looked beautiful like a mountain with 3 crests. Deprived of his bow and his cast, the brave Nakul, taking up a sword, jumped down from his vehicle like a lion from a mountain summit. As, however, he rushed on foot, his antagonist poured a shower of arrows upon him. Possessed of active prowess, Nakul received that arrowy shower on his shield. Getting at the car then of Chitrashena, the mighty armed hero, the son of Pandu, conversant with all modes of warfare and incapable of being tired with exertion, ascended it in the very sight of all the troops. The son of Pandu then cut off from Chitrashena's trunk his diadem-decked head, adorned with earrings, and graced with a beautiful nose and a pair of large eyes. At this, Chitrashena, endued with the splendor of the sun, fell down on the terrace of his car. Beholding Chitrashena slain, all the great car warriors there uttered loud cries of praise and many leonine roars. Meanwhile, the two sons of Karna, Shushena and Satyashena, both of whom were great car warriors, beholding their brother slain, shot showers of keen shafts. Those foremost of car warriors rushed with speed against the son of Pandu like a couple of tigers. O king, in the deep forest rushing against an elephant from desire of slaying him. Both of them poured their keen shafts upon the mighty car warrior Nakul. Indeed, as they poured those shafts, they resembled two masses of clouds pouring rain in torrents. Though pierced with arrows all over, the valiant and heroic son of Pandu cheerfully took up another bow after ascending another car and stood in battle like the destroyer himself in rage. Then those two brothers, O monarch, with their straight shafts, cut off Nakul's car into fragments. Then Nakul, laughing, smote the four steeds of Satyasena with four whetted and keen shafts in that encounter. Aiming a long shaft, equipped with wings of gold, the son of Pandu then cut off, O monarch, the bow of Satyasena. At this, the latter, mounting on another car and taking up another bow, as also his brother Shushena, rushed against the son of Pandu. The valiant son of Madri fearlessly pierced each of them, O monarch, with a couple of shafts at the van of battle. Then the mighty car warrior Shushena, filled with wrath, cut off in that battle, laughing the while, the formidable bow of Pandu's son with a razor-headed arrow. Then Nakul, insensate with rage, took up another bow and pierced Shushena with 5 arrows and struck his standard with 1. Without losing a moment, he then cut off the bow and the leathern fence of Satyasena also. O sire, at which all the troops there uttered a loud shout. Satyasena, taking up another foe, slaying bow that was capable of bearing a great strain, shrouded the son of Pandu with arrows from every side. Baffling those arrows, Nakul, that slayer of hostile heroes, pierced each of his antagonists with a couple of shafts. Each of the latter separately pierced the son of Pandu in return with many straight coursing shafts. Next, they pierced Nakul's driver also with many keen shafts. The valiant Satyasena, then, endued with great lightness of hand, cut off without his brother's help the shafts of Nakul's car and his bow with a couple of arrows. The Adirata, Nakul, however, staying on his car, took up a dart equipped with a golden handle and a very keen point, and steeped in oil and exceedingly bright. It resembled, O Lord, a she-snake of virulent poison, frequently darting out her tongue. Oh boy. Raising that weapon, he held it at Satyasena in that encounter. That dart, O king, pierced the heart of Satyasena in that battle and reduced it into 100 fragments. Deprived of his senses and life, he fell down upon the earth from his car. Beholding his brother slain, Shushena, insensate with rage, suddenly made Nakul careless in that battle. Without losing a moment, he poured his arrows over the son of Pandu, fighting on foot. Seeing Nakula careless, the mighty car warrior, Sutasoma, the son of Draupadi, rushed to that spot for rescuing his sire in the battle. Mounting then upon the car of Sutasoma, Nakul, that hero of Bharat's race, looked beautiful like a lion upon a mountain. Then taking up another bow, he fought with Shushena, those two great car warriors approaching each other and shooting showers of arrows, endeavored to encompass each other's destruction. Then Sushena, filled with rage, struck the son of Pandu with 3 shafts and Sutasoma with 20 in the arms and the chest. And this, the impetuous Nakula, O monarch, that slayer of hostile heroes, covered all the points of the compass with his arrows. Then, taking up a sharp shaft, endued with great energy and equipped with semicircular head, Nakul sped at it with great force at Karna's son in that battle. With that arrow, O best of kings, the son of Pandu cut off from Shushena's trunk the latter's head in the very sight of all the troops. That feat seemed exceedingly wonderful. Thus slain by the illustrious Nakul, Karna's son fell down like a lofty tree on the bank of a river, thrown down by the current of the stream. Beholding the slaughter, Karna's sons, and the prowess of Nakul, thy army, O bull of Bharat's race, fled away in fear. Their commander, however, the brave and valiant ruler of Madras, that chastiser of foes, then protected, O monarch, those troops in that battle. Rallying his host, O king, Shalya stood fearlessly in battle, uttering loud leonine roars and causing his bow to twang fearlessly. Then thy troops, O king, protected in battle by that firm bowman, cheerfully proceeded against the foe, once more from every side. Those high-souled warriors surrounding that great bowman, the ruler of the Madras, stood, O king, desirous of battling on every side. Then Satyaki and Bhimashena, and those 2 Pandavas, the twin sons of Madri, placing that chastiser of foes and abode of modesty, Yudhisthira, at their head, and surrounding him on all sides in that battle, uttered leonine roars. And those heroes also caused a loud whiz with the arrows they shot, frequently indulged in diverse kinds of shouts. Smilingly, all thy warriors filled with rage speedily encompassed the ruler of the Madras and stood from desire of battle. Then commenced a battle, inspiring the timid with fear between thy soldiers and the enemy, both of whom made death their goal. That battle between fearless combatants, enhancing the population of Yama's kingdom, resembled, O monarch, that between the gods and the Asuras in days of yore. Then the 8-bannered son of Pandu, O king, having slaughtered the Samstapakas in battle, rushed against that portion of the Kaurava army. Smiling, all the Pandavas, headed by Drishtadyumna, rushed against the same division, shooting showers of keen arrows. Overwhelmed by the Pandavas, the Kaurava host became stupefied. Indeed, Those divisions could not discern the cardinal point from the subsidiary points of the compass. Covered with keen arrows, sped by the Pandavas, the Kaurava army, deprived of its foremost warriors, wavered and broke on all sides. Indeed, O Kaurava, that host of thine began to be slaughtered by the mighty car warriors of the Pandavas. Similarly, the Pandava host, O king, began to be slaughtered in hundreds and thousands in that battle by thy sons, on every side with their arrows. While the two armies, exceedingly excited, were thus slaughtering each other, they became much agitated, like two streams in the season of rains. During the progress of that dreadful battle, O monarch, a great fear entered the hearts of thy warriors, as also those of the Pandavas. Next section, 11. Sanjaya said, when the troops, slaughtered by one another, were thus agitated, when many of the warriors fled away and the elephants began to utter loud cries, when the foot soldiers in that dreadful battle began to shout and wail aloud, when the steeds, O king, ran in diverse directions, when the carnage became awful, when a terrible destruction set in of all embodied creatures, when weapons of various kinds fell or clashed with one another, when cars and elephants began to be mangled together, when heroes felt great delight and cowards felt their fears enhanced, when combatants encountered one another from desire of slaughter on that awful occasion of the destruction of life during the progress of that dreadful sport, that is, of that awful battle that enhanced the population of Yama's kingdom, the Pandavas slaughtered thy troops with keen shafts, and after the same manner thy troops slew those of the Pandavas. During that battle, inspiring the timid with terror, indeed, during the progress of that battle, as it was thought, on that morning about the hour of sunrise, Pandava heroes of good aim, protected by the high-souled Yudhishthira, fought with thy forces, making death itself their goal. The Kuru army, O thou of the race of Kuru, encountering the proud Pandavas, endued with great strength, skilled in smiting and possessed of sureness of aim, became weakened and agitated, like a herd of she-deer frightened at a forest conflagration. Beholding that army, weakened and helpless like a cow sunk in the mire, Shalya, desirous of rescuing it, proceeded against the Pandava army. Filled with rage, the ruler of Madras, taking up an excellent bow, rushed for battle against the Pandava foes. The Pandavas also, O monarch, in that encounter, inspired with desire of victory, proceeded against the ruler of the Madras, pierced him with keen shafts. Then the ruler of the Madras, possessed of great strength, afflicted that host with showers of keen arrows in the very sight of King Yudhishthira the Just. At that time, diverse portents appeared to the view. The earth herself with her mountains trembled, making a loud noise. Meteors with keen points, bright as those of lances, equipped with handles, piercing the air, fell upon the earth from the firmament. Deer and buffaloes and birds, O monarch, in large numbers, place thy army to their right, O king. The planets Venus and Mars, in conjunction with Mercury, appeared at the rear of the Pandavas and to the front of all the Kaurava lords of earth. Blazing flames seemed to issue from the points of weapons, dazzling the eyes of the warriors. Crows and owls in large numbers perched upon the heads of the combatants and on the tops of their standards. Then fierce battle took place between the Kaurava and the Pandava combatants, assembled together in large bodies. Then, O king, the Kauravas, mustering all their divisions, rushed against the Pandava army. Of soul, incapable of being depressed, Shalya then poured dense showers of arrows on Yudhishthir, the son of Kunti, like the thousand-eyed Indra, pouring rain in torrents. Possessed of great strength, he pierced Bhimashena and the 5 sons of Draupadi and Drishtajumna, the 2 sons of Madri, Baipandu, and the grandson of Sini, and Shikandi also, each with 10 arrows, equipped with wings of gold, and whetted on stone. Indeed, he began to pour his arrows like Maghavat, the Indra, pouring rain at the close of the summer season. Then the Prabhadrakas, O king, and the Somakas were seen felled or falling by thousands in consequence of Shalya's arrows. Multitudinous as swarms of bees or flights of locusts, the shafts of Shalya were seen to fall like thunderbolts from the clouds. Elephants and steeds and foot soldiers and car warriors, afflicted with Shalya's arrows, fell down or wandered or uttered loud wails. Infuriate with rage and prowess, the ruler of the Madras shrouded his foes in that battle like destroyer at the end of the Yuga. The mighty ruler of Madras began to roar aloud like the clouds. The Pandava army, thus slaughtered by Shalya, ran towards Yudhishthir, the son of Kunti, for protection. Possessed of great lightness of hand, Shalya, having in that battle crushed them with whetted arrows, began to afflict Yudhishthir with a dense shower of shafts. Beholding Shalya impetuously rushing towards him with horsemen and foot soldiers, King Yudhishthir, filled with wrath, checked him with keen shafts, even as an infuriate elephant is checked with iron hooks. Then Shalya sped a terrible arrow at Yudhishthir that resembled a snake of virulent poison. Piercing through the high-souled son of Kunti, that arrow quickly fell down upon the earth. Then Vrikodhara, filled with wrath, pierced Shalya with 7 arrows, and Shahadev pierced him with 5, and Nakul with 10. 5 sons of Draupadi poured upon that foe, slaying hero, the impetuous Artayani, Shalya. Showers of arrows like a mass of clouds, pouring rain upon a mountain. Beholding Shalya, struck by the Parthas on every side, both Kritivarma and Kripa rushed in the wrath towards that spot. Uluku, also of mighty energy, and Shakuni, the son of Subal, and the mighty car warrior Ashvatthama, with smiles on his lips, and all thy sons protected Shalya by every means in that battle. Piercing Bhimashen with 3 arrows, Kritivarma, shooting a dense shower of shafts, checked that warrior who then seemed to be the embodiment of wrath. Excited with rage, Kripa struck Drishtajumna with many arrows. Shakuni proceeded against the sons of Draupadi, and Ashvatthama against the twins. That foremost of warriors, Duryodhana, possessed of fierce energy, proceeded in that battle against Keshava and Arjuna, and endued with might, he struck them both with many arrows. Thus hundreds of combats, O monarch, that were fierce and beautiful, took place between thy men and the enemy on diverse parts of the field. The chief of the Bojas then slew the brown steeds of Bhimashen's car in that encounter. The steedless son of Pandu, alighting from his car, began to fight with his mates, like the destroyer himself, with his uplifted bludgeon. The ruler of the Madras then slew the steeds of Sahadev before his eyes. Then Sahadev slew Shalia's son with a sword. The preceptor Gautama, Kripa, once more fearlessly fought with Drishtajumna, both exerting themselves with great care. The preceptor's son, Ashwatthama, without much wrath, and as if smiling in that battle, pierced each of the 5 heroic sons of Draupadi with 10 arrows. Once more the steeds of Bhimashen were slain in that battle. The steedless son of Pandu, quickly alighting from his car, took up his mace like the destroyer, taking his bludgeon. Excited with wrath, that mighty hero crushed the steeds in the car of Kritivarma. Jumping down from his vehicle, Kritivarma then fled away. Shalya also, excited with rage, O king, slaughtered many Somakas and Pandavas, and once more afflicted Yudhisthira with many keen shafts. Then the valiant Bhima, biting his nether lip, and infuriate with rage, took up his mace in that battle and aimed it at Shalya for the latter's destruction. Resembling the very bludgeon of Yama, impending upon the head of the foe, like Kalaratri or Death Knight, exceedingly destructive of the lives of elephants and steeds and human beings, twined round, twined round with cloth of gold, looking like a blazing meteor, equipped with a sling, fierce as a she-snake, hard as thunder, and made wholly of iron, smeared with sandal paste and other unguents, like a desirable lady, smutted with marrow and fat and blood, resembling the very tongue of Yama, producing shrill sounds in consequence of the bells attached to it, like unto the thunder of Indra, resembling in shape a snake of virulent poison, just freed from its slough, drenched with the juicy secretions of elephants, inspiring hostile troops with terror, and friendly troops with joy, celebrated in the world of men, capable of writhing mountain summits, that mace with which the mighty son of Kunti had in Kailash challenged the enraged lord of Alaka, the friend of Maheshwara, that weapon with which Bhima, though resisted by many, had in wrath slain a large number of proud Guyakas endued with powers of illusion on the breasts of the Gandhamadana for the sake of procuring Mandara flowers, for doing what was agreeable to Draupadi. Uplifting that mace which was rich with diamonds and jewels and gems, and possessed of 8 sides, and celebrated as Indra's thunder, the mighty armed son of Pandu now rushed against Shalya. With that mace of awful sound, Bhima, skilled in battle, crushed the 4 steeds of Shalya that were possessed of great fleetness. Then the heroic Shalya, excited with wrath in that battle, hurled a lance at the broad chest of Bhima and uttered a loud shout. That lance, piercing through the armor, Pandu's son presented into his body. Vrikodar, however, fearlessly plucking out that weapon, pierced therewith the driver of Shalya in his chest. His vitals pierced, the driver, vomiting blood, fell down with agitated heart. At this, the ruler of the Madras came down from his car and cheerlessly gazed at Bhima. Beholding his own feat thus counteracted, Shalya became filled with wonder. Tranquil soul, the ruler of Madras took up his mace and began to cast his glances upon his foe. Beholding that terrible feat in his battle, the Parters with cheerful hearts worshipped Bhima, who was incapable of being tired with exertion. Carry on.
Yeah.
Oof.
So I don't know if
Yeah,
Oak
man, that was just like kind of out of sight, near,
may have Guna or maybe the
Boring, yeah? Quite,
Iphany. Iphany might want to have a go.
Who?
Iphany.
Who's Iphany?
Iphany too.
What are you talking?
Can't you see it?
No,
Iphany.
I don't get it. I'm sorry, a bit slow.
I
Um,
phoned Mark.
Mark, is Mark there? Does he want to do it?
Don't know.
Don't know. He's not responding. I say,
Sorry.
Rainbow Gab. Is he
No,
there?
I'm unable to do so. I've got a headache, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay. Sorry, old boy.
Sorry, old
Sorry.
boys.
Commiserations.
Not tonight, Mark.
Not tonight, Josephine.
So,
Right, I'll have another go.
go on then.
Okay.
Go for it. Round it off.
Yeah, we've got another 5 minutes.
By the way, Rahul has just joined us for a little bit. He may have gone. He said he was just going to join us before going in sleep. So he's
Rabbi who?
Rahul.
Sorry, I'm just being silly. Anyhow, I forgot. Let's just carry on.
Madanji,
What?
can you go a bit closer to your mic?
All right.
Thanks, G.
So, chapter 1230 of the Mahabharata, chapter 11 of the Shalya Vataparva. So, Sanjaya said, O king, Shalya saw that his charioteer had been killed. He quickly picked up a club that was completely made out of iron and stood immobile like a mountain. He was like the blazing fire of destruction, or like Yama with a noose in his hand. He was like the summit of Kailasha, or Vasava with the Vajra. He was like the tawny-eyed one with a trident, or like a crazy elephant in the forest. Bhima grasped a mighty club and swiftly dashed towards him. At that time, thousands of conch shells and trumpets blared. The brave ones roared like lions, and this increased one's delight. All the warriors saw them fight against each other like giant elephants. Those on your side and on the side of the enemy uttered words of praise. With the exception of the Lord of Madra, Rama and the descendant of the Yadu lineage, who else was capable of withstanding Bhimasena's force in an encounter? That Rama is Parashurama. With the exception of the great-souled Lord of Madra and the force of his club, which other warrior was capable of fighting against Vrikodara? They roared like bulls and circled each other with clubs in their hands. The king of Madra and Vrikodara wheeled around each other. In the circles they executed, or in the way they roamed around with the clubs. There was nothing to differentiate those two lions among men in the encounter. Shalya's club was made of gold. It was radiant and sparkling and increased one's terror. It was tied in cloth that looked like a net of fire. The great-souled Bhima roamed around in circles with a radiant club that looked like clouds tinged with lightning. O king, the king of Madras struck Bhima's club with his club, and this generated blazing sparks of fire. In that way, Bhima struck Shalya's club with his club, and this released a shower of flames. It was extraordinary. They were like giant elephants with tusks or gigantic bulls with horns. They struck each other with the tips of their clubs, wishing to kill each other. Struck by the clubs, in a short while, blood began to flow from their bodies. They were beautiful to behold, like two flowering kingfishers. Bhimasena was struck on the right and the left by the king of Madra's club. However, the mighty armed one was immobile, like a mountain. O king, in that fashion, Shalya was repeatedly struck by the force of Bhima's club, but he did not waver, like a mountain struck by a tusker. The sound generated by those two lions among men could be heard in all the directions. The clubs descended and struck with a sound like that of the Vajra. Those two immensely valorous ones stopped for a while and then again attacked with their clubs. They again roamed around, executing circular motions, raising those iron staffs. They advanced 8 steps forward and struck each other, performing a superhuman deed. They roamed around, executing circular motions and seeking to strike each other. Those accomplished ones exhibited great deeds. They raised those terrible clubs which were like the summits of mountains. They struck each other like mountains at the time of an earthquake. They were severely struck from the force of each other's clubs. Both of those brave were simultaneously fell down like Indra's standards. Sounds of lamentation arose from the brave ones in both armies. They were severely struck in their inner organs and lost their senses. Shalya, bull among the Madras, was severely struck by the club of Kripa. You, sorry, severely struck by the club, and Kripa used his chariot to swiftly bear him away from the field of battle. Bhimasena was also weakened and senseless. However, he raised himself in an instant. With the club in his hand, he challenged the king of Madra. The brave ones on your side raised many kinds of weapons. To the sound of diverse kinds of musical instruments, they fought with the Pandava soldiers. They held weapons in their hands and made a great noise. O great king, with Duryodhana at the forefront, they attacked. On seeing those soldiers, the sons of Pandu roared like lions and advanced, wishing to kill Duryodhana. O bull among the Bharata lineage, on seeing that they were swiftly descending, your son severely pierced Chekitana in the heart with a javelin. Struck thus by your son, he fell down from his chariot. With blood flowing from his body, he was submerged in great darkness. On seeing that Chekitana had been killed, the Mahabharata Pandavas engaged and showered down arrows on the different divisions. O great king, the Pandavas could be seen to roam around and attack your soldiers from every direction, desiring victory. With the king of Madra at the forefront, Kripa, Kritavarma, and the immensely strong Sobala fought with Dharmaraja. O great king, Duryodhana fought with Dhristadyumna, who was the slayer of Bharadwaja's son and great in his valor and bravery. O king, goaded by your son, with Drona's son at their head, 3,000 Rathas on your side fought Vijaya. O king, setting their minds on victory and ready to give up their lives, those on your side penetrated like swans into a large lake. As they sought to kill each other, an extremely terrible battle raged on. They wished to kill each other and were delighted at being able to strike each other. O king, the battle that led to the destruction of the best among brave ones continued. The earth was covered with the terrible dust that arose in the air. We could ascertain who the Pandavas were only when they called out to each other. We fought fearlessly. O tiger among men, that dust was pacified by the blood. When the dust was pacified, the directions could clearly be seen. The fearful battle, terrible in form, continued between those on your side of the enemy. No one wished to retreat. With Brahma's world as the supreme objective, they wished for victory in the battle. Wishing to go to heaven, those brave men fought an excellent war. Setting their minds on the tasks of their masters, they wished to repay the debts of their masters. With their minds set on heaven, they fought and clashed against each other. The Maharathas released many different kinds of weapons. They roared at each other and struck each other. Strike, pierce, seize, hate, sever. These were the words that were heard amongst the armies on your side and that of the enemy. O great king, wishing to kill Maharata Dharmaraja Yudhishthira, Shalya pierced him with sharp arrows. O great king, however, Partha knew about the inner organs. He smiled and struck him in the inner organs with 14 iron arrows. The immensely illustrious one wished to kill Pandava and repulsed him with arrows. In the battle, he angrily pierced him with many arrows tufted with feathers of herons. O great king, while all the soldiers looked on, he again struck Yudhishthira with an arrow with a drooping tuft. Dharmaraja became extremely angry. The immensely illustrious one pierced the king of Madra with sharp arrows that were tufted with the feathers of herons and peacocks. The Maharata then struck Chandrasena with 70 arrows, his charioteer with 9, and Drumasena with 64. O king, when the protectors of his chariot wheels were slain by the great-minded Pandava, Shalya killed 25 Chedis. He pierced Satyaki with 25 sharp arrows, Bhimasena with 5, and Madri's 2 sons with 100. O supreme among kings, while he was thus roaming around in the battle, Partha shot sharp arrows at him, and these were like venomous serpents. In the battle with a broad-headed arrow, Yudhishthira, Kunti's son, brought down the tip of his adversary's standard from his chariot while he looked on, severed by the great-souled son of Pandu, and stationed. The standard was seen to fall down like the summit of a mountain. On seeing that his standard had been brought down, and on seeing Pandava stationed, the king of Madra angrily showered down arrows. Shalya showered down arrows like Parjanya pouring down rain. The bull among the Kshatriya lineage, immeasurable in his soul, showered down arrows on the Kshatriyas, Satyaki, Bhimasena, and the 2 Pandavas who were the sons of Madri, in other words, his nephews. He pierced each of them with his 5 arrows and afflicted Yudhishthira. O great king, we saw a net of arrows spread over Pandava's chest like a mass of clouds that had risen. In the battle, Maharata Shalya angrily used straight tufted arrows to envelop the directions and the sub-directions. King Yudhishthira was afflicted by that net of arrows. He seemed to have been deprived of his valor, like Jamba by the slayer of Vritra. Om Tat Sat. Hari Om. We'll leave it there, shall we, Matura? We still got the death of Shalia to come, but we can carry on next time, perhaps. You there, Matura?